What's up, dude?
Big round of applause. Big round of applause. We had made it to podcast number 4, baby. And I wanted to
Yeah.
tell you, I'm being serious.
Yeah.
90% of podcasts, they say they fade or quit after 3 episodes. So we are already ahead of the curve, is that what they say? Yeah.
Heck yeah. Nice. Let's
Hell
go.
yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. I honestly, yeah, I wonder what the statistics are. Did you look it up to see how many people start
Yeah, because I was
and then how
watching
many
some
people stop?
videos on like podcast tips or something, and they were saying
Mm-hmm.
most don't even make it past episode 3. So
Got it.
they fade. And I've
You know what's
seen,
funny is I was actually, oh, you're good.
oh, I was just gonna say, I've seen podcasts on YouTube and stuff with like a bunch of subscribers, and they haven't posted in like 10 years. And I'm just like, man, y'all were on a roll.
I know. What a waste. We'll take those subscribers.
Right. We'll make use of it.
Yeah. I was looking out on YouTube. I just typed in our channel name. Now that's crazy.
Uh-huh.
And there were two other. There was one that was That's Crazy, and then there was one that was, I think it was similar to Now That's Crazy.
I've seen those
And
as well.
they were both podcasts. And
Hmm.
no offense, they were kind of whack. And
They're not they're not wondering if you and me we're an inch off in the camera, or if the audio is,
yeah.
we have a whole production going and we just started, which is very good. Again. Okay, enough. All right. I think
Oh
I've been
man.
obnoxious enough for like an hour and a half. So we have to talk, bro. I saw the Odyssey last night, and man, I was not ready for that. So again, I say we go all in. Guys, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, the story's been around at least orally for 3,000 years, and then the book version at least for 2,000. So you've had plenty of time to see it. Even though the movie adaptation is pretty new, here comes a spoiler. But I know you said you liked it. Oh, first of all, dude, guess how long it took for them to film that movie? I can't believe this. Guess how long?
Oh man.
I
A
know it's a
year?
random.
2 years?
Dude, 91 days. They were hustling, and they said they finished 9 days early because it was,
Whoa.
9 days, yeah, 91 days. They
They
were supposed to do it in 100 days, and they did it in 91.
they finished it in 3 months.
3 months.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I bet you they were dead after that. Isn't that nuts?
That's
So,
actually kind of well.
um,
I Chris is known for just doing like what is in the script. Apparently, is what they film. So there's nothing extra. So they don't. There's no cuts. Like there's no like director cut. Because I was thinking when I finished it, I was like, oh, they could have probably done another hour.
yeah,
I'm sure they had a bunch of content, but apparently, with the way that him and his brother write the scripts, because it's cool. It's him and his brother that do the writing. There's no extra content. Like what is on the script is what they film, and that's what goes into the movie.
I also heard. I didn't know if it was for the Odyssey, but I heard for Chris when you've heard movies like when they're filming, they'll film in for like 12 to 16 hours. It's crazy hours like they're filming. Nolan apparently does an 8-hour shift, and that's it. They go home, they go to bed or their trailers, and that's it. Like it's like a normal work day, I guess, like 9 to 5, or an 8-hour shift. And that's just what I read. I don't know. I can't imagine if they did that in 91 days and finished what we saw, but like, unless they were just hustling. But that's pretty cool because usually you hear about crazy hours.
The What also is crazy that there was no CGI
Yeah, I heard that there was
at all.
a little, if not none, but like when they ran into the cave and there was that giant Nephilim,
Hmm.
thought that I thought it was a son of Poseidon, right? So heard that it was a 60-foot animatronic like puppet thing. A it wasn't completely computerized. So
Yeah, that one was a puppet, and then the again, I think the whole episode should just be, hey, we're gonna have spoilers. We'll let you know if there's spoilers, but I'm just gonna the scene with the witch. Yeah, the scene with the witch and the pigs and everything, like
yeah, that messed me
that was
up.
re- that was real too. So those were animatronics. Apparently, they were animatronics that you can like mold and like mush around with your hands.
Bro, that was like a really dark scene. I don't know what you thought, but I thought the whole movie was kind of disturbing. I mean, it was good what it was building up to, and but I saw that and I was like, bro, what? I thought like the way they were eating the food and everything. I'm like, dude, this is disgusting. And I was just kind of, I don't know what y'all thought, but like the movie was a lot to handle. And you told me about the pacing. And yesterday after I finished some stuff, I'm like, let me go see it. And I just was not prepared for that because I try not to watch any spoilers for certain movies. Obviously I've looked ahead for certain things, but I mean, amazing ending. Nolan gave us that, classic kind of like Inception, that thing. The guy gets back to his wife and his family, but boy, did you have to suffer with him to get to it. And it almost felt like it was almost too much for the ending. If we didn't get that ending, it would have been like, man, what a waste. But yeah, let me know what you think. Cause I was at the end of that. And then I started thinking like he had so many demons and things he was going through. And then I started thinking about like what I have to deal with. And I'm like, oh man, this is too much. This is like a bad trip. So maybe you didn't go down the rabbit hole as far as I did. You're just like, this is a good movie and I'm going too far, but that was a lot, dude.
So, all right. So, let me ask you this: what? I'll let you go. What did you think of the movie? Like, what was like? What's your whole thought? What's the highs, lows? What did they hit on? What did they miss? Because a lot of people were, com- we love talking about complainers on the channel. A lot of people were complaining about, a lot of things with the movie. The only issue I had has nothing to do with like the race of characters that they picked or him changing the story from Homer's original story of Odyssey. My big thing is I just thought the actors that they picked for the characters were weird choices. And that has nothing to do with Homegirl being black. My big thing was like, you know, like Matt Damon, I thought was a weird pick, but I think he pulled it off.
Yeah.
But there's other actors that are in there that I was like, I don't know. They didn't. Some of them just didn't fit. Like Tom Holland. I don't. I don't know. Like I guess Tom Holland wasn't bad, but then you got. There's so many like top big actors in there. It kind of for me it felt distracting. If that
Right.
makes sense.
No, you're watching the whole movie and it's like, right. I know you had warned me one of the things you're like right away you're captivated not necessarily by the movie but distracted by the fact that this is Matt Damon. And I kind of had that too. I saw for a lot of the beginning until I finally had to focus on something else was like, "Oh wow, I'm looking at, Jason Bourne the entire movie and that's all I can focus on." But you kind of
Yeah.
had that in the other one. Like in Troy, you're like, oh, it's not Achilles, it's Brad Pitt I'm looking at for like the entire movie. So there is kind of like that.
True. True.
But
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
difficult and it was so it's a good movie, but it was so trifling for me. Like the only time I ever had, because like he's not only worried about what he's done, he thinks he's like destroyed civilization, and then he's trying to because it was all based on a trick and a lie. And then everyone gets killed. And is he going to make it back to his family? So it's kind of like this constant trifling thing. And the only time you really get to breathe is when Zendaya shows up as Athena. And she's like the one encouraging God out of the whole thing. And she only shows up like 5 times. And then when she shows up, you're like, oh gosh, it's Zendaya. You know, the same thing with Tom Holland. We're like, oh my gosh, there's Spider-Man. So it was kind of this, it was distracting at times. So there was that mixed with like, I mean, they had to go into hell and then or Hades, and you find out that he didn't bury his men properly. It was just, it was well done, but it was, I don't know, dude. Like his movies ever since I wrote this down, his films have been darker ever since Dunkirk. So that being his last, if you could even say it, uplifting film would be like Interstellar, was a little bit lighter, and that movie wasn't even necessarily light. But like Dunkirk, I'm skipping Tenet because I didn't really get through Tenet. But Dunkirk, we'll skip Tenet. Oppenheimer, very dark. This movie, very dark. It's I don't know. It's like a different wing of creativity, I think, that he's gone down and or storytelling. But anyways, not to get into that. Amazing movie, but it is like a terrifying roller coaster. I you know, because
So
I don't know.
yeah, did you finish Tenet?
No, I don't. I think I tried like once or twice with you. I don't think I ever finished.
I mean, I would probably say the majority of people either just didn't like it, didn't get it, or didn't finish it. I love that movie for whatever reason because I love time travel as
Yeah,
like a as like a as like a story, and I love how that always plays out. I think it's interesting to have that in a movie, and it's like sci-fi because that's kind of my jam. But I think it's almost to me, Odyssey was the pacing of Tenet because he has different pacings in his movies,
yeah.
and Interstellar is kind of slower paced, and it's like a slower burn. All of his movies, I think, like as a whole, are slower burns, but some are just kind of like one long burn. Whereas Odyssey had like it was like an hour burn, an hour burn, an hour. It was like a build up peak, build up peak, build up peak. But it had the pacing of Tenet where it was just it was just nonstop.
It was
That
nonstop. You pissed off not Poseidon, whoever's the storm god. I don't know. So also
Zeus. Did you hear that?
too many gods, by the way. Okay, like man, there in that movie. Then I started thinking like, why is this so crazy paced? I'm like, the Batman movies weren't like this, and I was like, oh yeah, they were. I mean, The Dark
Hmm.
Knight, it never stops. It's just
Yeah.
the whole time. So
Yeah, and this was
yeah,
3 hours, and I drank a huge thing of Diet Coke, so I think that was just a bunch of caffeine in me, and I was stimulated because I'm pretty sure I took my peptides because it was Saturday, I think, when we went to see it. So it was like I don't know, I was just very stimulated in it. And then just the movie itself is just very
yeah.
stimulating the whole time. It's just boom, 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 boom. And dude, my take is I like Anna Hathaway as an actress. I did not like her as a character, as a selection for this
Why
role.
why is that? Just because she
Well,
seemed
here
like a
I have
crazy older woman.
I have the actors picked up, pulled up. All right, so you have Zendaya, Travis Scott, Tom Holland, Matt Damon, Elliot Page, uh, Charlie Theron, Anne
Oh, I can never
Hathaway,
do that one. Yeah,
Robert.
sorry.
I can't either. Robert Pattinson, John Bernthal, who's that guy was still. I always love him, but it's like then you have a bunch of B-list guys. There's just two. Sometimes I think people always talk about like the audio in his movies are jacked up.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
plot things that are jacked up. There's this, that. For me, Chris is like his double-edged sword has always been who he picks as an actor and actress for the movie. Sometimes it's a huge hit with Oppenheimer, and then this one it's like I don't know. Anne Hathaway just didn't convince me as like the queen, Robert Pattinson's. I love Robert Pattinson. I think he's I think he's just a really cool actor. But it just it's you. I think it should have been like Matt. It should have been like Matt Damon, Robert Pattinson.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like get a bunch of people that we don't know in there
Yep.
that can lock in that role. There's just too much. Zendaya is like, you know, you might as well put in Timothy Chalamet. Like,
I I was thinking that. I'm like, let's just stick him in there too.
it's like, what is happening here? But the big thing for me is also like Elliot Page goes without speaking. Terrible
Yeah.
choice.
That
You
was
know,
yeah, that
that
was
was the worst. That was the worst choice for me
also
for
sorry,
obvious
yeah.
reasons.
Yeah, go ahead. You- Everyone knows, but
Yeah.
go ahead, finish
No.
your what you were saying because I have something pretty funny to add to that when you're
No, that was pretty much it. I think just overall, I like the movie, but I think the other thing that it did, and we'll get into this too. I mean, we could do a whole episode on this freaking movie because of how long it is. The other thing for me is it felt preachy, and it took things from the gospel, and as if those were things that the Greeks were doing before
yeah, like the golden
Christianity.
rule.
Yeah, the golden rule, and also, they made a big deal about, make sure you treat everyone kindly because, they might be an angel or a god in disguise. It's like that's from, that's more biblical. So just things like that. And at the end, it was preachy because it was like the Trojan horse was a terrible thing to do. It wasn't just. It wasn't like a just war. It was kind of like it was kind of like a lie, or it was snaky, like manipulating, because you're kind of like putting the guys on the horse and you're getting them into the city, and it's like it's war. Like who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? It got preachy at the end, and it was like it was almost like this was the turning point for society where we just like we Trojan horse the city, and then ever since then it's just been bad. It's like I
Yeah.
don't know.
Because that
That was
was the
kind of
worst
weird.
thing that we as humans have ever done is sneak
Yeah,
into a city. I mean, look at the history of
yeah,
warfare. That's when it started for real.
exactly.
All the things that I thought would be a problem that a lot of the people were making, they were politicizing it. Really, I didn't give a crap about, other than, you know, the whole Elliot Page thing was kind of distracting, like, kind of, what are we
Hmm.
doing here? But it kind of ended
Yeah.
for me. Listen, Travis Scott is probably my favorite rapper of the modern era. But when he started, I'm just like, it was like the scene one. I'm like, hey, why is Astro World like? What are we doing here? Like, this is like, why is Astro World talk? We're out of this thing. But then after that, it got so intense. I kind of forgot about the.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people were saying things that weren't true. They thought Elliot Page was going to be Achilles, and then there was this whole thing that wasn't even true. She was not Achilles. So there was like a lot of lies, but yeah, I was just blown away. Now I guess now that we've said all the things, regarding the plot or the cast or whatever, the armor was absolutely ridiculous. Okay? By the way, Agamemnon, I dude, absolutely stole it. I thought, like, whenever he was there, it was like, holy crap, this guy's
Savage.
presence, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Now he did look like RoboCop and Batman had a kid, and it was a little out of control. But I was like, whenever he was on screen, I was like, dude, look at this freaking beast. I don't know about you. Like, when he walked in, when they finally opened those gates, and they were like, oh, what a bad thing. I'm like, dude, this is how you win. Like, what do you guys think this is? But they're outside for 10 years. We had to sneak in. So, but anyways, when he walked in, I was like, this is amazing. So, yeah, when the Trojans came up and they looked like they had like white plates on their face with the slits inside, I was like, dude, this is crazy. And then like Odysseus's ship was a Viking boat. So I was like, okay, because I'm a history guy, and history people you can't watch historical novels on, or because they're really annoying people. So I was just like, okay, dude, it's a movie. Also, this is a fictional story, so relax. But the Viking boat, I was like, bro, what? So, and then I know like that helmet, that's like more of a Roman thing, not a Greek. And I'm just like, okay, dude, like just enjoy the movie. This doesn't matter. So,
I will say this. as far as cinematography and as far as all of the stuff that's in the movie, just the scenes and the gear and just what people are wearing and just the sets, like it's a beautiful movie.
It
Like
is.
the filming of it is in, and that's where Chris shines, right? The writing can sometimes be a little, weird, but like just the film, because he doesn't do CGI and he only films like actual film. Everyone's digital now, and he's big on IMAX because it's actual film. It's better quality. He's just one of those nerds about filming. And the scene, like the boat scenes, the beach scenes, like every scene is just memorable. It's beautiful, gorgeous. I don't know if there's any. I think as far as like cinematography is concerned, put everything else to the side. Every scene was a banger. Like it was a hit. But then there was, that's the thing. Like this movie could have been a 10 out of 10 for me, but there was just little things that were distracting the whole time that took away, that pulled me out of the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, what is this? I was like, A-list, A-list, A-list. It was just too much. But as far as like the scenes, just all the boat scenes, the water, like it was gorgeous,
Yeah.
beautiful as far as that's concerned. I thought Homeboy's armor, his presence, like when he's going to bow down to him and he's just massive, I was like stud. Like yeah, like
Exactly.
sick. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The Giants, and your heart rate's going the whole time because they have you like, they have you right there, like you're just that, like you're locked in, but just the whole movie. So as far as that, I think that definitely hit out of the park. But then there's just things where I was like, I don't know. Anne Hathaway, I think, was the biggest. Anne Hathaway and Ellie.
That's
Sorry.
like your biggest problem is Anne Hathaway, which is great
I
because
know.
no one had a problem. The political idiots weren't saying anything, but Tyler's like, by the way, guys, none of that stuff matters, but Anne Hathaway. But I get it because like I totally agree because when she came on, I was like, you're acting kind of like a crazy here. What's going on? So
And I like Anne Hathaway. I
me
think
too.
she's a really good actress. But also, I just, all right, well, that's Catwoman. Like it's just, I
Yeah.
don't know.
And why is she
It's
behind a
when you,
curtain to half the movie? I was like, what is this? So I
right,
just,
right.
you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, yeah.
so going off things I love how Chris can have you visualize things and things that, don't necessarily need to be put on screen like a Hollywood does. Like when they take over the city and they're like the next day, we knew what was going on as the guys were going through this city, but he doesn't have to show it to you. They probably would in like a Tarantino movie or something, right? He called it
Hmm.
like the next morning was like very sweaty and like we know what's going on, but he didn't do it. And I was like, thank you, Chris, because not everything needs to be seen. So again, going over positives, love that. I thought
Yes,
one of the most beautiful
agreed.
scenes because he showed war without having to see every part of it like a disturbing like Vietnam movie. It was nice. I because we don't need to see that, right? Because it'll be so disturbing. It can take away from the at least the art and what we're and the beauty of it. One of the I thought I watched movies. I mean, sorry, videos reviewing this part because I wanted to see what people thought. Like, what did it really mean? What were they saying to him? One of the most beautiful and disturbing scenes is when they were going through the sirens and he had to tie
That,
himself
yeah,
to. You already knew
yep.
probably
I knew.
because he was like he I knew what he was dealing with because shoot, I should have looked it up, but they were saying how like they show you because I was looking into the Odyssey and what they say is like they're tempting you with forbidden complete knowledge of like the universe. That's what they're trying to pull you in with. They like seduce you like,
Mm,
oh my gosh, you're the greatest, da 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 da, and come with us, we'll show you whatever. But he said like they show you what you want to see, and then once you see it, you wish you hadn't have, and you can never get back to it. I can't remember how he said it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like,
yep.
that is just masterful. It seems like
Yes.
a temptation, an addiction, and realizing you're not, can't really can't reach your full potential. And because you've gone down this road too far, you were already where you should have been. It was just, I thought it was amazing. And That was my favorite scene, probably, other than the ending and him getting to that moment and then like smoking everybody at the end. But yeah, what did you think of that scene? Because you said you already knew I was gonna go there.
Yeah, that was when you were like most impactful scene. And you know what I like is the fact that they explained it and told you pretty like around about what it is that they're experiencing. Because a lot of
Yes,
times it'll like they leave it very ambiguous, and
right.
you're up to the like, oh, what did they actually hear? First thing I'm thinking of is Odysseus, savage. Like that's my
he's like
guy.
he's
You
like,
know what I
let
mean?
me. I want to hear this and be the only guy. I would
Yeah.
have, dude. If they told me all that was happening, I would have buried my face in the wax, not just my ears. I don't, because I'd have been hopping off that boat too. What are the
Yeah.
secrets?
Yeah, well, dude, he straps himself in. He's like, "No, I want to hear it," and I was like, "Yeah, that's my
I
dude."
saw that and I was like,
I was like,
I'm like,
savage.
That's Tyler right there. I want
Yeah,
to lock me in. I want to see what it is.
okay. Give me, give me your worst. Let me see if I fold or not.
Oh
Especially when it's
man,
like mental, especially like it's because that's mental warfare. So that's like
yeah.
that's like a psychedelic trip. I feel like, but I think that was really cool. I'm trying to think. Best, my favorite scene by far is the buildup of them in the Trojan. They're they're peeing and pooping on each
Oh,
other,
that was rough.
and they're getting stabbed. They're in there for days. People are dead. They're rolling around with dead bodies. They get in the city. They get out, and they're getting the gate open. Dude, insane. And he's got the bow going. I was like,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yes, bro. That was almost too much because they're gonna get in, but you're also thinking, are they
yeah,
gonna make it?
yeah. Yes,
Because
yeah,
the Trojans
yeah,
are
yeah.
coming, and yeah, they're getting picked off. That was something else.
You know what
Whew.
was interesting? And this is, I mean, we've done like 30 minutes on Odyssey, but I think
Yeah.
we could do a whole episode. But like, they got like the bow, like I don't know, just like the bow seemed, because a lot of movies you see guys with bows and it's like they're big on the swords, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
sword fighting, all of that. This was very focused on like the bow, obviously, because of who Odysseus is, and he's got his freaking, 70-pound compound bow, whatever whatever he's rolling with. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but I don't know, like the bows just seem they seem sick in this,
Yes.
and just that you could hear the arrows flying by, and like guys were getting knocked down from the arrows. That I don't know. It seemed they just got a lot of like the combat. The combat was really good, but obviously, me not as a history buff, I'm watching. I'm like, oh, all this looks sick, and then you're like, that armor's from a different country. You know what I mean? That's
Ha
from a different.
ha
You
ha!
know what I mean?
You
That's
can't
not
watch
even.
movies with people like that, dude. There are people like me who are so annoying
Yeah.
because
Well,
you
I
can
mean,
watch and 300. Oh, they didn't do this. It's like, oh my god. So
yeah. But all right. So let me ask you this: Where first things first? What would you give it? Like if you were doing a Rotten Tomato score out of 100, what would you give it?
man, well, I need some criteria, right? So like cinematography, obviously, a
Just
acting.
so like if you were just like, hey, like, would you recommend the movie for someone to see it? Like, would you
Yeah, but it's the same way I recommend Oppenheimer. It's not like you don't necessarily walk away
like
like you
is that
did
like a
from Inception.
70%? Yeah.
No, that movie's way too good for a 70. I mean, I don't know if I'd give it a 90, but like an 85 to like
85.
93.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
85 to
would say it's
93.
sub 90. Like I'd probably say
I
like
know it's a 90, but it's like, but then I have to think, well, why am I not doing that? Mm,
I don't think it's a 90 because of just everything that we talked about
Yeah, that's
and just
true.
how distracting it was. As far as like plot, for the most part, besides the preachy stuff near the
Yeah.
end where it's like, oh, what all this, we ransacked the city and like, okay, we weren't doing that before. Like, yeah,
Yeah, that was a
we were
little
doing crap.
ridiculous.
Yeah, just that kind of
I didn't
stuff.
think of that until you said it, the preachy stuff, because I guess I was so engulfed by everything else that was happening. But yeah, I guess it was a little preachy.
Also, this isn't my idea. This I think was one of the comments. Where at the end it's like the age of bronze. The age of bronze is done. It's like, how do you know you're in the age of bronze? Like, what are you talking about? Like, how
Yeah.
you don't know that you're in the. No one knew they were in the Dark Ages till after when they named it the Dark Ages. Like,
Hey man, they're getting this knowledge from the gods. All right.
yeah, literally, literally.
Bro, one of the final
And
things I was thinking. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, where would you rank it in the Nolan verse?
Slightly above the middle to the bottom of the top. Like he has his
Okay,
top three or
okay,
four. You
yep.
know, if his top five or this, I would say it's number 4 or 5 because you have all the Batman, you have Inception, which is the greatest thing ever. You have shoot, what's the space thing?
Interstellar.
Interstellar. I don't know, man. This is like a thing of its own because he hasn't done like a ancient civilization war type movie. It was
Hmm.
good. It's just there were so many things like you were saying is that were distracting, whether it be the people or going into there thinking about people that had politicized it and then realizing, wow, not that big of a deal. Other than what's her name? Elliot Page. That was a little
Elliot,
distracting because yeah.
Elliot
But
Page. Yeah.
no, well, all right, what would you give it? And then we can
Honestly, I'd probably give it like 80. It would be like 85 to 89.
yeah.
And it also, I'm coming in biased because I love Nolan and I love his movies.
And you're
So
always thinking about his other things and it's like Rockstar. How are they gonna outdo the last one?
yeah, exactly. So like if you came in just unbiased, just as like a regular viewer, not a movie buff, maybe it'd be different. And
Oh,
maybe if you
dude.
didn't have the political things and the social media context kind of skewing the opinion,
You're right.
I don't know.
Actually, if you say that, if I hadn't have gone in there thinking because I'm constantly comparing because he's like my favorite director, constantly comparing it to his older work and not going in there with these stupid rumors, I think it'd easily be 90 plus.
Yeah,
Maybe.
for sure.
I don't know. I was just after the movie, I was like, that was a lot. You really had to earn that ending.
It 100% felt like a journey. It
Yeah.
was long. You felt like you were along for the ride, and it was just build up and build up and build up and build up. I thought the pacing was really good. It felt like Tenet, and that's why I like Tenet because Tenet was just boom, 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 and the soundtrack. He's he's very he's very clever with the way that he mixes in the music with all of the scenes, and it's just this build up, build up, build up, and then you're just freaking out the whole time. I think I think
That's how I felt when they were trying to open the gate because there
yeah.
there is this. It's not Hans Zimmer. These top two guys he always works with. This Hans Zimmer and this European guy, and I can't remember his name.
Hmm.
And he's a beast too. And and this European gentleman, he's building up the scene. They're trying to open the gate. They're trying to open the gate. People are getting killed. And I'm like, okay, guys, open the gate. Like this is a lot. And I was, yeah. So at the end, I was like, it's time to put on the Eagles or listen to some Psalms because, yeah, man, that was a great movie. Yeah. So
Yeah, no, I think it was a great movie. I think it was a really good movie. His next movie, sorry, I'm in it now because now that we're talking about it,
no, dude, go ahead. What's his next one?
his next one's gonna be a horror movie.
Okay. That had to have been where it was going. After the pigs, the way they were eating, and I was like, this is disgusting. And the pigs, I'm like, you are gearing up for a horror movie, dude. That
Yeah,
was filthy. Oh man, I
yeah.
can't imagine what he's gonna do with the horror movie.
Did you see? Oh gosh, Obsession.
No, Ryan tried to get me to watch that. I watched the theater. I'm like, dude, I live in this house by myself. There's multiple bedrooms. I already have to close the doors. I'm like, showed me a well commercial, and the girl's face was all like blah, 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 like jacked up, and I said, no, dude. I'm like, it's already hard enough to sleep.
That movie, that
He,
movie did really well because I think it was like $1 million to make, and then they made 100 million on it.
bro,
And
I think it
Chris
was.
liked it so much, he was like, "I want to." He's like, "I want to do a horror movie now."
Didn't some YouTube guys make it?
I think.
I thought
Don't
they
quote
made
me
it
on
for
that.
sub a mil. Like it was either 750 grand or a mil. 750 million, sorry, 750,000. It made 488 million. And if they didn't have,
Wow,
okay, good. They didn't have like Universal. All right, never mind. They did have Universal. I saw Bloomhouse.
they
If they had
sold
done
it.
this private, oh, okay.
So they
Really?
sold it. Yeah, so they sold it, I think, for 10, and then a company they sold it to sold it for 100. So there was
I
two
mean,
sellings.
maybe if they make the second one, I don't know. I just see this and I'm like hoping the guys get like hundreds
I
of
know.
millions. So,
Hope to
but
get hooked up. I hate
man,
to see it.
so what you got? That was that was I could keep going with it, but
I know we could. I'm not even kidding. We could
there's
talk
other
about it.
things I've thought of. So
No, for sure. No. All
we
right. So
have
the
to
next
have
thing I wanted
have to have different topics for the clips. We can't.
I know. I know. Can you imagine the whole week is just the Odyssey? Just like,
No,
okay.
dude. By Friday, I'm just looking at like what did Zendaya say because I'm running out of things to talk about here.
Right. Right. My big my big thing, I actually wanted to open with this, but honestly, probably better because we've been talking about it so much, but Grand Theft Auto, I want
Oh,
to
bro,
talk about
that's my second thing because
I
it's
want to
coming up.
talk yeah, I want to heck yeah. I want to talk about that. There is this guy on YouTube. He's nerdy, so you might not some people can't listen to that kind of
Ah,
just
come on.
how it
What's
sounds.
his name?
His name is Jason Schreier,
Oh,
and the
bro,
guy's
that's my
legit.
boy.
Oh, you know him?
No,
Okay, never mind.
sorry.
No. So he works for, oh man, he works for, I think Bloomberg. He works for a large marketing company,
They're
or
good, right?
I can't remember. I don't know. I think they're all corrupt. But
Oh,
anyways, he did it. So Take Two, who owns they are the publisher for Rockstar, right? So
yeah.
there's publisher, then the developer. So
The
Take
CEO is a
Two CEO,
badass.
yeah, no, he is, yeah. So the Take Two CEO, who owns Rockstar, basically, they're under that company. Take Two CEO they had an earnings call, right? And so I thought this was really interesting, and it's kind of different from what we've talked about before, as far as like it's not technically about the game; it's more about the numbers. So you might like this. Basically, everyone is asking him on the earnings call because I think they do a quarter. I think it's a quarterly one that they do. Yeah, because every you do a quarterly one, and basically everyone can phone in and you can listen to. It's basically everyone who's like an investor and shareholders. It's a shareholder meeting, and so he was basically talking about the pre-sales, and he won't give the numbers about what the pre-sales were. And I thought it was interesting because Jason Schreier, this guy that works for Bloomberg, interviewed him, and he said, "Hey, why won't you share the numbers?" And he goes, "Are they not good? Were they bad? Like, why aren't you?" Because basically, like, it's a bunch of stock people on the phone, and they're gonna dump the stock or buy the stock depending on what happens on this call, right? So it's an important call, and the CEO is basically like, the numbers are crazy, but we don't want to tell you them because we want to make sure that we combine those numbers with opening day sales, because his philosophy, and I thought this was an interesting take, and this is why the guy's the CEO, and his take was this might be front loading all of the sales that would have happened on day one with the pre-orders. Because he said the numbers looked crazy and insane. So I think they're so monstrous that he's basically going, we're not going to tell you what those numbers are until day one sales after 24 or a couple days because we want to combine those two numbers. Because if they basically told everyone what the presale numbers were, the if it's well above the expectations of what the stockholders and shareholders thought it would be, the price of Take Two would probably skyrocket. So they're kind of uh they're kind of like holding back on expectations and trying to kind of like keep everyone chill but we don't know because the presale numbers might not be front loading the numbers of day one. It might be you might have day one sales be billions too.
So he thinks if they release the numbers of the pre-sales, it's somehow going to take away or make the stock go so
he
high and it won't be. I don't
so
understand.
he basically sorry I'm not explaining it right. So he
No, it's
basically
okay.
said that if they release the numbers for the pre-sale orders, the numbers are so high that people might think they might get the expectation that this is going to be the most insane media release ever, which it is. But he wants to make sure those expectations aren't sky high because
Got
he
it. Because
thinks
if day one sucks for whatever reason, it might. Okay.
exactly, and
Okay. That's smart.
he
Yeah.
thinks a lot of people that were going to buy on day one pre-ordered it, and so
Okay.
that's why
Okay.
these numbers look insane.
Okay.
And he
Okay.
thinks that he's like, that's why we're not going to tell anyone. We're going to wait until day one. We're going to combine all the numbers together. We'll give you the pre-orders. We'll give you day one sales because he thinks basically it's front loading. Basically, a bunch of everyone's so hyped. All the people that would have bought, or maybe a majority that would have bought day one, bought the pre-order. So that now day one sales are going to go down.
Got it. Okay.
I
That
don't,
makes sense.
I don't think that's true.
No,
I think because I didn't pre-order it. I don't
exactly.
think you pre-ordered it.
No,
And
I
I
was
think
going to
there's a
wait
bunch
with
of
you.
people there. Exactly. There's a bunch of people that are hyped for this that did not pre-order. And I think that's the vast majority. And from the leaked numbers, I don't know where they're from exactly, but I think we talked about this before where it's a couple billion for the pre-order sales.
Yeah.
So
No, that makes total sense. And I wonder if, because there's going to be a ton of people, the people that pre-ordered are, they're not necessarily, they're kind of like not the hype train, but I don't even think that's the majority of the people that are going to buy it because there's people like you and me where we're like, well, it's not even a digital version. Sorry, it's
mm,
not even a physical version. But then again, where I was going with that is there's an unlimited amount of digital copies you can buy, but there actually isn't. There were certain regions that were limited on how many. I've consumed so much content on this. It's abnormal. I mean, if I put this amount of effort into schooling, we would both be doctors. But there are certain regions that sold out for whatever reason. There was limits on the digital versions you could buy and the pre-sales, and certain regions sold out because for whatever reason there was a limited amount. It makes no sense. So that
interesting.
that, that should tell you. I listened to a little bit from that call. I guess it was a recap. He said it was like unprecedented amount
Yes.
of sales. So I can only,
Yes.
and I'm thinking first month, first week, first month, whatever, probably first 3 months is going to dwarf and make the pre-sales look like nothing because there's people that are like, I'm guessing the pre-sales are more young people and there's going to be people like you and me, 20s, 30s that are going to wait and then just do it. Cause I want to I'm going to go a little stupid with it. And like, I'm going to buy the physical copy and the special edition and, whatever limited merchandise they might have. But I'm going to wait until the thing is going. So when we have our offices, you're going to see probably some like poster back there with the Miami and all of the pink and everything. So that's crazy, dude, what he said. So
Yeah, I thought it was and I completely agree with what you said, where I think day one is going to far exceed the pre-sales. I think
yeah,
they haven't tapped into nearly the amount of customers that are going to be buying this on day one. The other thing I wanted to talk about is it's coming out the trailer reveal on Netflix. And so Jason Schreier also asked him about this and said, "Hey, what's the deal with that?" So Netflix has built into their app a kind of game center, and they've already partnered with Rockstar. So I think they have GTA 1, 2, and 3, and they have Red Dead Redemption 1 on the Netflix kind of app, and you can play the game. I think you can stream it.
Wow.
So it kind of makes sense that they already had a deal for this.
Yeah.
And he was basically like, "Hey, what's the point? Like, what's the point of going on Netflix, yada, yada?" Obviously, it's incentive for Netflix, or it's incentive for Rockstar because it's free money. I don't know how much money they're getting it because they get it for 6 hours. They get it exclusive for 6 hours before it launches on YouTube. So I thought that was interesting. But the other part that, because Jason's like, "All right, well, why the Netflix thing, yada, yada." Basically, he said it's going to be almost like a show.
Wow.
So
Okay.
the theory is that they're going to release this and then they're going to release more like a show, like kind of a limited series show
Bro.
until the release of the game.
Wow. Bro, because I was
Yeah.
going to ask, do you think like this thing that's coming up on August 27th is going to be the trailer? Is it going to be like an interactive thing where you get to play a little bit? Now, because you said there is like a gaming section or something in Netflix, which I wasn't aware of. It
Mhm.
sounds like it might be all of the above. Trailer 3, right? Is that what you think? And some play along?
So I think, because if you look at GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, they'd have two cinematic trailers for the story. Then the third one would be a gameplay, but it's a developer breakdown. So it's basically like how we made the game. Here's kind of the engine. Here's the updates that we did. Here's the graphics, and here's the water simulation, and then obviously gameplay because everyone wants to see they want to see play in the game. And apparently, I think it's going to be like a breakdown of like probably it'll probably episode 1 could be like the story or whatever, and it's people breaking down like it's they you're probably in the office and it has here's what we were thinking about for the plot, and we branched off into this and all this stuff. So now I don't know if there's going to be I don't know if it ties into the game center itself, but I actually forgot that Netflix has that kind of game center thing going on, but they already kind of have they're already working with Rockstar, which I didn't know. So, and I thought this was interesting. Like, what do you think about that? And then also, what do you think about like Netflix only having it for 6 hours?
Dude, honestly, I don't know what to think because I'd never seen something like this before. I was just expecting it to be on
True.
their YouTube channel. So, like, whenever they
Yeah.
do something like this, because it hasn't been done before and because this is the biggest thing since sliced bread in terms of releases, it gets me and I guess everyone else even more pumped because it's adding
Mhm.
to the mystique and the crazy mystery and what are they. I think they're very tactical that they don't say anything. It builds it up even more. And I think they were already like that, but now they're like probably digging more into it. And I guess it's weird that they didn't, but like they're also geniuses because now like Netflix is amazing for doing this. They're going to pull even more people into the Netflix platform because like, okay, well now I can't watch it on YouTube right away. I have to go on Netflix. So I think it's cool. I've never, this week, there's going to be a lot of people mad about Netflix probably. But so I, you know what they're going to be like? They're going to be like, so I got to pay $100 and $9.99 to watch it on Netflix. Are you kidding me? Couldn't it be more of a goyim? But I honestly, I don't know how to, I can't, I think it's cool, bro. It's not happened. Let's get excited. They could do anything and I'm going to get excited. So do you think it's cool that it's on Netflix and they're doing this type of, I think it adds to the mystique.
One, people were complaining.
I didn't even know.
N-
I just guessed.
no
What
surprise there.
what were they
Yes, in the
complaining
comment
about, dude?
section,
Are these people
well,
real or
people
are
were
they bots,
complaining.
dude?
People were like, "Oh, you think I'm going to get a Netflix subscription? I can wait 6 hours." And it's like,
They
okay,
actually
buddy,
said
chill.
that?
Like, yes,
I
yeah,
was
people in the
joking. I
comment
did not know that.
sections. Yeah, no, 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 no. Yeah, well, yeah. If there's one thing you can guess, it's that someone's going to complain. So no one's, you know what I mean? Someone's also, it's like, I don't know, who takes time to even like, to just write that stuff? I don't know. But
Do you think they're mostly
that's beside
real?
the
I
point.
think most of them are mostly real. Why would they be doing an op?
That's right. It's a good question.
Okay, let's say half of them are real. The amount of hate
I
for
think what,
this is unbelievable. Doesn't matter what they do.
yeah, no one's ever pleased. No one's ever pleased. Also, I think it's smart because Rockstar is getting paid to run an ad when it's usually the other way around. So I thought that's kind of crazy because usually if you want to run an ad on Netflix, you pay Netflix. Netflix makes money off of ads, right? So I thought it's the
Oh
complete
my God.
reverse, which isn't that crazy?
Hey, if you want to come on Netflix, we'll show your stuff. You got to pay us. We'll pay you to come on here because
Yeah.
we know how big this is going to be. Man,
And
that's,
that also makes me think it's maybe a show. But I think the other thing is that I know Netflix has people that probably don't even know about Grand Theft Auto. I think they're trying to milk GTA 6 smartly for every single penny that they can.
yeah.
And the last thing that they already know that they're going to make money off of people that play Grand Theft Auto 5, right? The only thing that they haven't tapped into is the kind of more. I mean, Grand Theft Auto is pretty mainstream, but even more mainstream, like just your average consumer on Netflix watching this and going, "Holy crap! I don't even have a console, or my console has. I got it. I played one game on it. It's gathering dust. I'm gonna get this game."
Yeah.
'Cause I think that's what you're going to tap into with Netflix. And I think that's smart.
I think I was listening to someone talk about this because at a certain point, they have to look at the people in the office that are going to get an update on let's say Netflix, for example. They're going to see a regular commercial and they're going to be like, oh, I can't believe you must be living under a rock but there are these types of people. Oh my gosh, a new GTA is coming out.
Yes.
Oh, and it's coming out on this. I
Yeah.
have to go get the new Xbox or the PlayStation because, I haven't played since GTA San Andreas. Let's say they're in their late 40s or whatever. Millions of those types of people that might only have Netflix or this. So they're probably also they're trying to get as much of the audience as they can before they launch this thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm not joking. Like that week I'm taking it. I'm going to take it off. So so until that happens, about 2.5 weeks until we get the trailer. So, or whatever that thing is, the Netflix, whatever that's going to be, a season. I mean, I can't even imagine. So
I know. I think it's sick.
I'm so
I'm
excited.
hyped. I'm hyped. Honestly, I like the build up. Like, I don't,
Oh yeah,
it, I would give me some behind the scenes, you know what I mean? Show me the people that made that were building the game, show me the character designers and the voice actors. I love all that stuff. It's
bro.
like behind the
Yeah.
scenes. That stuff's fun.
I eat up all that. It's kind of it's like on House of the Dragon. At the end of the show, they do a recap of everything and they talk to all the actors and
Hmm.
actresses, and you see like the
Yep.
process. And then they have not only that, they have another show, as it would be on HBO, called like what is it called? How dragons were built or whatever, and it goes way in depth into how they made the thing. So I hope they do something like that with GTA, and maybe they are going to. My entire house is going to be pink and purple for the first
Yeah, I need to take off that day because I think it comes out. What day is it? Is it coming out on a Friday?
November 19th that's a Thursday, baby. So that's a 4-day weekend
Okay.
if you were to take it off.
Yeah. I'll definitely take off
Are people
Friday.
at work talking about it?
No, I mean at work we talk about work. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
usually we're usually so busy. I've talked about it, but I mean there's not there's another side of the company that more has kind of got, guys that are kind of into, video games. My crew's they're not really like hopping online and stuff like that.
The sales
I
guys
wish.
aren't.
Yeah, yeah, just on my side.
Gotcha.
All right. What else you got?
So I wanted to see, because House of the Dragon season finales tonight.
Oh,
Yeah. So final
oh.
episode. What do you hope to see? What do you think's going to happen? And what do you think of the season so far? We've touched on it, but did you ever finish the last episode? You told me you and her watched like 20 minutes or something, or had 20 minutes left.
Yeah, no, we finished it.
Okay.
How did it end? So again, spoiler alert, gonna talk about this in depth. I don't want to censor myself. I just want to talk about what,
I completely agree.
all the details. The ending, I think the ending was just homeboy getting his dragon back.
Yeah. Remember, remember I texted you and I said, "Oh man, how did Sunfire come back?" And you're like, "What?" I'm like, "Dude, how did they get Frankenstein back?" Because I realized you
Yeah.
didn't. I was like, "I thought you finished it." And I'm like, "Oh man, I screwed it up."
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah, it did end like that. So yeah, what did
That was
you?
the ending, right? Yeah,
I
they
do
just get
think so. Yeah.
obliterated. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna make a guess because I don't know, and I haven't. I was really into Game of Thrones. I don't know. It's weird. I was more into Game of Thrones than I am into House of Dragons. House of the Dragons. Is it House of the Dragon or House of Drag? I always jack that
House
up.
of Dragon, House of the Dragons. That's probably like that sounds like a Bruce Lee movie from the 1970s. Does it not? There's got to be a
House
dragon
of
movie with Bruce Lee.
Yeah, yeah, Flaming Dragon or something.
So many dragons and flying swords with those
Th-
Asian movies.
this one's good. It's good. I think it's very different from the vibe of Game of Thrones, which I don't mind. And honestly, that was it. Episode 3 where they take over the city.
It was 2 or 3.
2 or 3. That was an insane episode. I
They
think
just
that was
went
honestly,
for it.
yeah. I think that might have been one of the best episodes of the whole show as far as like standouts. But okay, the burn victim. What is
Aegon,
his Aegon? So Aegon,
the burn victim, just a guy in the ER with level 3 burns. The burn victim.
yeah. I'm so bad with names and I'm so dyslexic. And then you're giving me a show with everyone has an A in front of their name. Aegon, Argon, Aragon, it's just like, dude,
And
kill
there's
me,
7 of each one of them.
Yeah, and they're all also everyone looks like everyone's blonde. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm
Yep.
like, wait, hold on. Is that one of the kids, or is that? Oh no, that's not the kid. That's the girl that married one of the kids. And it's like but
Yep. Yep.
it's
Yep.
just confused. Sometimes I'm confused in the show. But overall, I think it's really good. I really like it. I want to say so. I haven't read, but this is just my guess. Aegon, I feel like takes over.
Okay.
Is that
I mean, okay. Like,
okay? Okay.
no, no, no.
Yeah. Okay.
Someone
Yeah.
they've been caught in something. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think because you've obviously read it. That's just my kind of guess and my kind of vibe of it. And then it's also building up into, dude. I hate myself for not knowing the names, but Damon and Mr. One Eye.
Amen. Amen. And
Aemon.
yeah,
See, that's what
yeah.
I'm talking about. Aegon,
It's too much.
Aemon.
Yeah, yeah,
So Aemon, I feel like Aemon and Damien are gonna throw down,
yeah.
which there's also a build up to that. The only dude, this is not last episode, but geez, here we go again. Homeboy getting shot in the face with the arrow.
Yeah, Kristen Cole.
Yeah, Kristen Cole. what a letdown. I'm still thinking about that.
Okay, so why did you think it was a letdown? Did you want him to go out in a blaze of glory? Because I think it was cool that they took that away from him because he's such a douchebag. But at the same time, I kind of wanted to see it. So,
Well, he, so Game of Thrones and some of House of the Dragon has kind of a Star Wars vibe where, there's Jedis, there like, there's kind of like there's Jedis basically with swords. You know what I mean? Like there's some guys that
oh yeah, okay,
I want to see some like sword play, you know what I mean? I want to see like people just going back and forth. That's what I've been hyped for. And it's been mostly dragons, but obviously that's in the name of the show, you know? And so I'm
yeah,
like, I would love to see some just, some sword fighting. And that's when I was like, oh, Sir Kristen, I was like, I thought he was gonna, I was hoping because he's really good with combat, and
yep,
he's a knight, and he's really renowned for him and sword fighting and all that. I thought he was going to throw down on the battlefield, and I
yeah.
thought it was going to be. I knew he was going to die, but I was like, oh, I thought he was. I thought it was going to be. He'd get some bodies down, but it was also interesting because he has this whole thing of this buildup, and it's very ego based, where he's like, I'm the man, I'm gonna go out in a blaze of glory, you're gonna be talking about me, and it's like, nope, Sniper just iced you, you know? So
I was kind of hoping he would because he did have a cool thing where it was also kind of annoying because like when Sir Gawain, the guy with the red hair, is like, "This is out of control. I'm leaving." I'm like, I like that
mhm,
guy by the way too. He's pretty
yes. Yeah.
badass.
Same.
He's like underrated. Sir Gawain is he's really cool. Seems to have a
Sir
good
Gawain's
heart.
like he's like a dark horse.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I was hoping that like I wasn't rooting for Sir Kristen, but he was. The poor guy's out there sniffing panties. He's not getting the wins he wants, and I'm kind of just hoping that at least he's gonna die, but like he is the best in the realm. He trained all the kids, so like let him go. And then they do the thing they always do, where they take away what you think's gonna happen, and they shoot him in the face.
Yep.
So that happened in Game of Thrones. We never saw like we did see Arthur Dane go off. We never saw Jamie go off. We didn't see. We saw Ned Stark fight once. We saw Jon Snow obviously go like his you saw him all the time, but like we never saw the best in the realm that they always talked about go off. So the best in the realm with House of the Dragon, we've seen a few, but yeah, it's like we didn't see Sir Kristen like take out 15 guys, which would have been probably easy for him.
Yeah.
You know,
All right. What do you
yeah.
think? What's been your highlight? I guess we could probably talk about that when the next episode comes out. But what are you most excited for? What do you think is going to happen? I don't know, but you might have read up on this, so you might already know what's going to
Yeah,
happen.
I
But
can't tell you what I'm most excited for, but let me. Oh, okay, I know how to do it. I'll say what I'm most excited for based on what we've already seen in the show. So the guy that doesn't like smells. See, me too, because you, me, and
he's
Nikki are
my
like
favorite.
you're like that too. I come inside, there's something, I'll start investigating because I've had it in the house. I'm like, is it the trash, the dishwasher, or the sink?
Yeah.
So when he's like sniffing the oil and everything, people come in with muddy boots. I love it. I'm like, this guy is
Yeah.
just us totally.
It's so
He's
good.
also like such a pompous twat. I just
I
it's
know.
so funny,
I
and
know.
he is such an animal.
It's
So obviously he's in Tumbletown, whatever. He's mentoring. What is it called? Tumbleton,
I think it's Tumbleton. It's
Tumble Run,
Tumbletown. Tumble
WWE House of the Tumble Run.
Tumbletown.
So Tumbleton. So
That's
they're
good.
trying to lure him out. So I'm looking forward to the main battle because it's in
Yes.
the preview. Damon and all of the Rivermen and the Northmen and his dragon versus. All right, you saw the last one, so Ulf, the guy that piece of trash, Ulf, that is always rebelling. Not that they didn't give. I mean, they were mistreating him, so it's not like
Hmm.
he didn't have a. It's weird because like yeah, they mistreated him, but he was so disrespectful. We kind of had it coming, but he's going to be
Yeah.
on the green side, so it's going to be a pretty good battle. I'm looking forward to
So
that.
I got a question real quick. There is something in there was one of the there was one story that they tell where there was like a huge battle where basically all the dragons died off because all the dragons fought each other.
Oh, like in
Is that
from the dream that Damon had where
yeah,
all the dragons are dead and stuff?
yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know because basically, when you get to Game of Thrones, there's no dragons. They're all dead.
You're right. Yep.
So, and also I think they kept getting smaller and smaller apparently because they were going over the skulls and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if this is maybe one of those battles where like, okay, we're down to a couple dragons, like one or two. I don't.
Yeah.
It's also sad. I hate watching the dragons get hurt.
Oh, it's man, yeah, when they start screaming and everything, one of the hardest ones is when Jace dies and his dragon is drowning. I didn't care that Jace got shot up with arrows because you always watching people die, but when the dragon started drowning, I'm like, dude, this is too much. I know they're not real, but it has the
I
mammal
know.
instincts and it's like you hear the noises. Yeah, it's the most I hate it.
Yeah.
But no, to answer your question, I don't think this is a battle that culminates with all the dragons going off on each other because
Okay.
you still have Vagar that's like nobody knows
Yep.
where it's at. And well, this hadn't happened in the show yet, but I'll just say this. When they had all the dragons, they probably should have struck because you're seeing people change size, they're having different
Yep.
ideas, and they are running the kingdom into the ground. They don't have money. The gold cloaks left. They should have, in my opinion, immediately gone to another kingdom and taken it over. Like, if you don't have the resources, like the gold, you can't pay anybody, you can't feed the townspeople, you can't do anything. That should have been handled immediately. Whether you go take Lannisters or that one lady in the Reach, or if you have to go to like Bravos or even get a loan from the Iron Bank, that needs to be handled. They have run this city terribly, honestly. I think I told this other person I watched in Ashley's family, we watched it together. I was like, Damon and Rhaenyra they would be good as conquerors, the same way Daenerys was. Daenerys was not a good ruler. She was good at war games. She was good at what do you call it? Delegating to the troops, making sure we're taking over, freeing all the slaves, getting people pumped up, all the people behind her. She was a wartime person, not a ruler. I see that with Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra
Hmm.
sucks
Yep.
at ruling, and if her and Daemon had just gone on taking over, that's probably because that's what the Targaryens do. Like Aegon the Conqueror, they're like a wartime people. I don't think they're
Yeah.
made for ruling. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Agreed.
And it's known. I can say this. Daenerys is the descendant of Daemon and Rhaenyra, so like they got that conqueror blood. And I just think
Mhm.
that maybe Daemon and Rhaenyra they should have. I think they're like a wartime thing. They're not really made for doing all this action and all this this fun, this adrenaline, and sitting on a throne and listening to people that lost their sheep. That's not what I think they should be doing.
Yeah, they're not good at managing. That's
They're
for
not good
sure.
at man. Exactly.
Yeah, they're not good. They're not good managers. They're definitely good at like they're almost like, if you're thinking about them as in a business sense, they're good at startups. They're not good at maintain they're not good at they got some really good ideas and they can just go, but like
Yeah.
you don't want them managing the company because they'll run
No.
into the ground.
Uh-uh.
And and also they're probably getting stir crazy. But yeah, I agree. And also, two things you said. When you have all the power, you want to strike, right? A strike when you're at the peak.
Yeah. And not an
The
impulsive
other,
strike, like a thought out, planned, immediate strike.
yes, but also you have guys that you have pulled they've given dragons to all basically homeless people, and so
Peasants. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, what do
peasants.
you think was going to happen?
And
They
so it's
haven't
like,
been through
yeah,
training. They haven't been
no,
disciplined.
no. And also they're not, like you throw one, they don't have any money. Damon, the whole everyone's broke, and you're gonna get a guy with a dragon that's broke, that's getting beat up in the street. And it's like, yeah, of course this guy's gonna, want to sway if you throw up some cold. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
or you give them a legitimacy, or you turn them into a lord instead of a knight. So yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's really weird. Like they should have definitely, like, I'm thinking this in terms of it was real life, but like you
Yeah.
should need to mentor these. You got to mentor these guys. You got to mentor them, take care of them, train them, manage them correctly. You're giving Dragon and telling the a guy that was basically a drunk, a couple weeks ago. You're giving him a dragon and telling him that he can't go out, and he's a party guy. He's like,
Yeah.
well, he's gonna go into the streets. He's gonna find some fun. But yeah, I think that was a huge, huge loss. Damon was right. They should have kept basically going out, and like if you don't have money, just like in real life, if you're running low on funds, you go and you go to another village and you take that village over, and
Yeah.
take their resources. And yeah, agreed that they should have done that.
And they could have done that. They had 4 dragons at the time. The 2 guys that,
Yeah.
like you said, the homeless guys, they were loyal. They had just been given some opportunity. But like it is kind of like what you said. Like, what did you think was going to happen? You take these 2 homeless guys that don't have any money and no training. You give them like nuclear weapons with ultimate power. Man, no one
Yeah.
could have saw this coming.
Yeah.
So
Literally.
yeah, they could have kept a handle on it a little bit better. Hopefully, well, not hopefully. I know what happens, but it has been an amazing season. Had some good character arcs. I think it's been really, really good content. Last season, people were upset because it was a lot of talk. There was no action because there was a lot of like Rhaenyra was in Dragonstone not doing much, and Daemon was off just having visions and Harrenhal the whole time. And people were like, "There's no battles going on. This is boring." So now there's battles going on, and I think it's awesome this season. And people are like, "Well, Allison and Rhaenyra, they're making stupid decisions, and it's just not going anywhere." And it's like, well, we talked about that last season or last episode, but I like it. I really do. And I'm not a big fan of Aegon. He's not the most moral person, but he was about to go off with he was willing to go out in a fight. I didn't know if he was a wuss or not. And he was about to just get killed. He was like, I'm done running. This is a waste of time. And the Lannister guy, I thought he was kind of just an opportunist huckster as well, and he was about to just die
Hmm.
right next to him. And I was like,
Yeah.
didn't see that coming from these 2 people.
No. No. Yeah.
So
They definitely pulled. They're almost like a little story arc for them.
yeah,
Like as far as like 2 guys that were kind of more opportunistic cowards, like you were saying,
yeah,
and then they were like, all right, cool, last stand. I'm gonna throw
right.
down. Yeah.
So good. And I didn't think
I would say
Laris would leave too either.
this season, like you said, best season.
Yeah, I think so too.
Best season. Yeah, hands down. Action. Every episode, really good pacing. The only episode I did not like is where she's and I know why they did it. One, it's a little bit of a filler, but 2, it gives you just introspection into, what she's dealing with, like when she's running the kingdom, and how she's not she's not good at
She's not a ruler.
ruling. Is
Yeah.
that one episode where it's basically just her on the throne hearing everyone, and then she's kind of like sweating, she's doing the Mr. Krabs thing, like, oh, like.
Yeah,
So that
that
was the
was
only episode where I was like, I was kind of getting stressed out from watching it.
yes. I remember the music. It was like a
Yeah,
guitar string was breaking.
yeah,
Yeah,
ding,
now I remember that. It was the
ding, yeah,
episode ding. It was the
ding.
episode after what we thought was the best episode where they just take
Yes,
everything. I think it was the
yes.
episode
Which
after
was
that.
that also was like this, like it was just boom, and then boom, like just those 2 episodes back to back.
Yeah.
It was like, holy crap, best episode. And then I'm like, what am I? I'm like, whoa. But
That
overall,
episode was
good
like a
season.
season finale followed by a
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
of the start of the season. I don't know. Very weird.
Yeah. Yeah. No, literally, literally, literally. Yeah. That
Very
was like
strange.
that was like episode 1, season 4 episode for sure.
So I'm hoping to see a good final battle. I want to see where Aegon and the Lannister people are. I want to see if Damon finds out that. I honestly think Damon already knows that Rhaenyra's messing with that spy girl, and I don't think he cares because it's two girls. It's not really real. So so it's not really the same thing if Rhaenyra was with a guy, right? It's not the same thing. So I think he already knows. He's a weirdo, so he's probably like, "This is hilarious. What a bunch of idiots." I'd be interesting to see if he does find out and think something. And then I want to see where the other dragon guy, what happens with him, because he just like lost his wife. The other dragon guy with the
Mm-hmm.
Hugh Hammer. I want to see where
Yeah,
where,
yeah,
where
yeah.
he's at. And then who else? Want to see what happened with Lord Colas because he just lost his finger. That's all I can think of.
I'm very interested in, oh gosh, not Aemond.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, with the aim in
Yeah,
the one eye.
him and the witch. I like that kind of plot. It's almost like he's like Damie, he's like Damon 2.0,
Yeah.
you know? And I like that kind of, it was interesting. He also messed up, and this is just an ego thing on his part. He effed up when there was a scene where the dragon's just like in the lake, and he's drinking water, and she's basically like trying to get hooked up. Like she's like, hey, like I need money or something like that, or I think she wanted land or something. And it's like, dude, this woman's a witch. Like she's a backstabber. Like if she doesn't get what she wants, if she doesn't get it from you, she's gonna get it from someone else.
Right.
So
Yeah. When she was talking to Damon trying to get the land, or when she was talking to Aemon trying to make a family doing.
when she was talking with Damon, I think
That's right. Yeah.
earlier in this season, they were talking. I think it might have been after a battle or right before one. And she was basically talking about getting land, and he was just laughing at her, like, "I'm not going to give you," which I thought was funny. I thought,
So you think he made the right decision? Because she wanted
no,
Harrenhal.
no. I think he should have hooked her up
That's
somehow. I don't,
what I thought.
like,
Yeah.
hey, I can't give you this, but I'll give you this. I mean, he kind of just told her to kick rocks, and then she was like, "Cool, I'm
Right.
gonna go find it somewhere else," and then now she can manipulate, homeboy, and
They haven't made a lot of good decisions this season. And you can
no,
see when they were united, they did make a great decision, and they locked in, took the throne, and everything else that they've tried to that they have done ever since has been a disaster.
yeah.
So yeah, I wonder who is, and I think they're doing one more season.
Oh, really? So
So
it's
I
only
think
gonna be,
so.
it's just 4 seasons? Is it? Or
Let
is
me
this the
see.
third season? We're on
Yeah,
the
how
third season,
many?
right?
Uh, Let me see. Yeah, we're on the third. How many seasons of House Dragon are set to be made? Okay, it's going to end with season 4. All right, cool. So, oh gosh, 2028. Mm,
So season 4 is the last one.
yeah, and they're coming up with some other ones, like you just saw Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and
Yes, that was
I
really
think
good.
that was good. It wasn't so they've kind of tightened up the craziness on every
Yes,
season.
yeah,
So the next season, they're going to do a lot of spin-offs, and I think the next one is Aegon's conquering, like when he first came over. I think they're going to do that. So I'd love to see that in Robert's Rebellion again, like when Ned Stark and Robert go against the Mad King before the Game of Thrones
yes.
stuff. So
Well, my big thing is I love Game of Thrones, and this is just the way that uh George kind of wrote everything. He's just so it. You're reading it, and it's like Tolkien, where it's it feels like a real place, like it's a real universe. There's
oh
just
yeah,
so much rich history, and I love all of just the you know, the when they're talking about things, it's like, oh, this happened, and this was a conqueror, and this guy was a king, and they had this dragon, and this is what happened to the dragons. The whole time, my big thing is like I am so interested in everything building up to the Bad King,
Yeah.
and because that's such an
Yes.
interesting build up, and then just how crazy the Targaryens are, and just that bloodline, and so I really liked and enjoyed the the kind of prequel of this. And I hope they continue. If they stop here and then they jump ahead in the future, because how many hundreds of years is this before Game of Thrones?
I think 200. I think.
200?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So,
Might
and
be
then you're
less.
saying that they're going to do another one. It's going to be, what was it?
Aegon.
Aegon Conqueror.
Aegon the Conqueror, when he came over from Valeria, I think it was, and took over the Seven Kingdoms. And that's when you had, well, that was way back. That was before
That
Robert's
was
Rebellion
before.
and everything. Yeah, that's like,
Yeah.
that would be the furthest jump back, I think, that we've seen.
Because that was before this show. That was before House of the Dragon,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes. Because, yeah, Aemon, One Eye, he wears Aegon. Nope. Nope. Aegon that has the burned face. What do you call him? Third degree burn guy? The burn victim.
Burn victim.
He wears Aegon the Conqueror's armor, and his brother
Got it.
Aemon the One Eye has the Conqueror's sword, and then Daemon, he has that sixth sword. That's Aegon the Conqueror's sister wife's sword, Visenya that rode the dragon. I've gone way. I mean, I have time in the warehouse.
Sister wife?
Yeah, not good.
Yo.
You know. Yeah,
Yo,
I think. Well, I don't want
that's
to
why
say
they're all
that, but
crazy. It's all the inbreeding.
yeah, I think.
Kind of leads us into Spain.
I I think Damon or George R. R. Martin, he might be into some. He's a naughty boy. I'll just say that. Leave.
Yeah, I don't want to know what his search history is. Let's just
Yeah, man. He's a furry. It's crazy.
furry for sure.
Gracious.
All right. You got any other things you want to hit on?
No, what's funny is I only had those three things, and it all we went into pretty good depth on. What about you?
Yeah, I'm just looking over my notes to see what else.
I have this cute little notebook. It's the podcast thing, and it's called Notes, Lists, Ideas, and it's got the smiley face in the front, and it has like the YouTube subscriber goal, and then I have like podcast 1, 2, 3 idea. We're on podcast 4 right now. It's my little notebook for it.
I love that. I love that. I mean, I had some things on here, but I mean, they're kind of just. It's nothing really crazy. I always try to look up the week news, right? Like
Yeah.
what happened last week that we could kind of recap on.
Okay.
There's nothing. It's not like a whole lot of crazy things happened. There's a bunch of AI things, people talking about, AI and it kind of, getting out of hand and going rogue. That's always that's my same kind of point I have on that, where, people think AI is sentient. My whole belief is that there's a big, this ties into everything, right? The reason your MacBook and your phone and the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 6 and the Xbox, every electronic that has a chip that uses RAM, right? Which is pretty much like any type of, any device that's doing computation has RAM.
Mm-hmm.
Those RAM prices are so high because of the AI data centers that they're building. Because all of those resources are going to the AI data centers, and the average consumer is the one that's getting hit on the bill. So anything that is electronic that's going up in price is because of AI. And I was watching this guy, and he's basically breaking down the numbers and how much money they're putting into AI. So for instance, they've put in they've put in I think OpenAI, they're putting in over $1 trillion into that company, and it's barely making a couple hundred million. Like, they're so far in the red, it's crazy. Like, AI is not making money at all. And I don't know what the game plan is. I think the tech bros thought that we would have like artificial intelligence by now, like, like Jarvis, hop on the phone, you like manage my whole life, do the investing for me, everything. And I think they thought we would be there by now, and we're not. And so they're basically like continuing to throw. It feels like the Odyssey, where like the ship's breaking down, and they're like, no, like keep going. It's like, no, 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 we need to stop at an island and chill, like like get our resources and whatnot. But it's crazy because if you ever are looking at anything with any electronic that you're trying to buy and then you're pissed off at the price, you can thank AI for that. And I love AI, and I love using it, and it's a really good resource. But it's always that thing of like, is this Steve Jobs had a really good quote where he went to go buy Dropbox, which was a cloud service for basically hosting files. So, iCloud, he was
Yeah.
basically going to buy a company that already had that basically it was a company that came up with the idea that iCloud has and Microsoft's OneDrive has. And he basically told them, he said, you're not a product. He goes, you're a feature. Basically saying like someone can duplicate what you did and they can either do it better or cheaper. And so at that point, you're not, um, not, you're more of like a service, than a product.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, like, you're kind of like an addition. Like, you don't really have the cornerstone here. The same thing goes for AI, where these LLMs, these large language models, are being built in China. So, like, I can get a MacBook, I can get a Mac Mini now, and $500, $600 Mac Mini, and I can download an AI that's from China, and it will outperform, for the most part, ChatGPT, Gemini, and it runs locally on your computer. So it's private, it's secure, it's encrypted as long as you set it up that way, and you're not paying a monthly fee. So you're just seeing that as the kind of technology advances, you're seeing it's cheaper to run and people are duplicating it. Because basically, like, they had like the golden goose, and then someone figured out how to make that golden goose. And so other companies are doing it, and they're making it free. It's open software. So you can go and download this model, and it's basically built and it's learned on, certain processes and procedures and the internet, and some of them you can run on your phone, on the iPhone chips, because the iPhone chips have that kind of feature. And I just think it's crazy because it reminds me of the dot-com bubble. It reminds me of the housing market, where there's just foreseeable on the horizon pending doom, and then everyone's like, nah, we'll just keep going and throw money at it. So that's always my rant for the AI stuff, because I'm just so deep into that. But I didn't
Well,
know.
what you're saying, no form of AI is profitable? Like not even chat, or I don't understand.
all
Like none of the programs that they've made is making any money. This is crazy because they cost so much
so
to run.
Yes, because they cost an insane amount of money to run and
Yeah.
also to build, because not only are they in the red when it comes to because basically this code is being run in a server center, right? So they're building these data centers. This
Okay.
code, this LLM, is being run on a computer. And so when you log into chat, you're accessing basically that. You're basically accessing the server, and then you're allowed to, conversate with chat and use the services of ChatGPT, but they're not profitable. Not only are they not profitable just off of the electricity that they're using, but they're throwing trillions of dollars at building these data centers to allow ChatGPT, Gemini, and X AI, which is Elon Musk's version, to try and give it more power. They think if they build basically enough data centers that eventually like a super intelligence is going to pop out of this thing. And it's a crazy idea because
Yeah.
you're only going to get out what you put in. And so you're not going to, they think Jarvis is going to come out of this thing. And it's like, you're training it. It's just not going to happen. I personally don't see it, but they're not profitable
No.
and they're just blowing money. They're blowing through money, like trillions of dollars. And everything that is electronic is so high in price right now. Like, uh, the Switch is going to 450. They're only going up $50, I think, which is kind of crazy. But like Xbox is going to 800 from 500, and that console's been around for like
What?
5 years. Yeah, because of the RAM prices. Yeah.
So they're making
So
something that's not working. It's not living up to expectations or what we want, and it's
Mhm.
destroying all of the other industries' prices.
Yeah.
And the data centers that they're trying to run is having a ridiculous amount of backlash. It's almost like God is like, no, you're not going to recreate me. Now I'm going to watch you burn through all of your money and resources trying to make this thing that can't even give you the right directions to get through a GTA mission. And, I get really disappointed. I'm on Gemini and it's saying how to do something wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
joking. I just got a bedroom set, like I told you. I gave them the dimensions of the room, and then I gave them a printout of the dimensions of the bed, the side table, the chest, and the dresser and the mirror. And I said, it was cool. I gave it a picture of, because on the receipt, it'll do the picture. I said, this
Mhm.
is the dimensions of the room. This is the dimensions of every single piece of furniture going into the room. Give me an aerial view picture of the room with everything so it maximizes space. And it jacked up all the dimensions of the room. It gave me a 12 by 5 by an 8.5 instead of a 12 by 5 by like a 9.5. And I said, this is the best we're getting. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but it doesn't give me confidence
Yeah.
because I have to recheck everything. And I don't know, man. I don't know if it's living up to the hype. And like, I didn't know they were burning through that much money. I thought ChatGPT was making. I thought it was in the green like you wouldn't believe. I had no idea that it was. That's terrible. Those things scare me. They're just burning through. It's all right. It's like, what is the goal? What's the mission? Where are we trying to hit, guys? Because it's not working. And I don't think when like the internet happened, it was this bad in terms of like cost and everything. I don't remember. We were both like, I don't know, 5 years old, but or 10. But I don't remember. I mean, what's the goal, bro? Like, what is? Because it's not going well. Like, you're spending all this
It,
money. The everything is getting backlash, and our product kind of sucks. I mean, I love chat, but like, they're not all optimized. That was Grok, by the way. I told you Gemini has terrible things for the thing. Grok is what I use for that room. It jacked data. Chat's pretty good, but it's so yeah. Well, what are you thinking?
all right. So I'll give you the numbers. So I'm looking them up now.
I'm shocked. I mean, out of everything we've been over, this is blowing my mind that they're not profitable. I thought they were blowing through I thought they were making so much. I have chat up right now. I'm like, hey, why aren't you profitable?
Yeah. Why are you making money? So here's what I have. Just just based off of costs, just based off of costs year to date, year to date they've put in around 10 billion,
Which one?
and it's made around 5 billion.
They put in 10, they got back 5?
So it's costing 10 billion to
Yeah.
run, and they've made 5 billion. So that's not including though all of the money that they're putting into the data centers. And that's where it's really expensive. So not only are they at a loss just running it where it is right now, but they're then expanding the business, building more data centers so that they can run more powerful versions of Chat and Gemini and all of the AIs, which would then just make it even more unprofitable. It's crazy. That doesn't make any sense. I truly think these guys think the only thing that makes sense is that the only thing that would make this make sense is if these guys truly believe that they are on the path to artificial intelligence, like true artificial, like sci-fi movie artificial intelligence. You know what I mean? To where it changes humanity. I hope they believe that, because if they don't, they're either doing this nefariously or they're doing this for other reasons. And that just doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you're trying to take the best outlook, it would be they actually think this is going to change the world, and that the money that they're putting into this will eventually be recouped, at least by the fact that artificial intelligence would come out of it. And artificial intelligence, AGI, artificial general intelligence, and then ASI, which is a step above that, which is artificial super intelligence. That's when they believe that, all right, so you have basically, it becomes self-aware at AGI, right? Basically, like, this thing is now a conscious being, and then it now figures out how to make itself better on its own.
It's
And so
already
it's a
doing that a
spiral
little
that
bit,
just
isn't
goes.
it? Or are those just like things we hear about? Because you hear
It's
things like that.
it is self-improving, but it's not conscious. Like, they have to prompt it to be self-improving. There's versions that are out now where they're like, we don't even know how this thing kind of works, because it kind of has just improved on its own. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I think people really believe that, a conscious people truly believe in singularity. And singularity is when we basically sync up with the AI and become one. And then you have AI in your brain, like Neuralink style. And I just don't think, it just logically speaking, from a philosophical standpoint, it's the same issue you run into when you remove God from the creation, whether you believe that the earth is billions of years old or thousands of years old, whatever that perspective is, nothing can't come, something can't come from nothing. And it's the same thing with AI. I think it's that same kind of flawed philosophy where they think that if they just throw enough compute at this, eventually something's going to come back and it's going to be, a sentient being. And it's just, I just don't, like, logically, I'm like, you're only going to get out of it what you put in, and you've trained it on the internet. You're training on humans, and humans are as our
Yeah.
intelligence. So that's just my kind of 2 cents.
So what do you think's going to happen? Because like you said, they're burning through so much bread. They're not getting what they want. They're putting money into it as if, in the hopes that they're going to, well, we don't know what the end goal is, but it seems like they want something that is, I don't think all of these guys are like benevolent. I don't think they're doing it so they can fix the world problems. Either they're doing that for this, but you watch some interviews with these guys and you're like, these are lizards. It's crazy. So they're have you seen like
Yeah.
interviews with no, not Sam Bankman-Fried.
Sam Altman.
Yeah. Little
Yeah.
different, right? We'll just leave it at that. And
Yeah.
so are they doing it for like benevolent reasons so that this thing figures out all the problems of the world? I don't think so. I mean, we've seen enough history. They might be doing it for, more control, which would make more sense. But do you think it's going to fail? Because if they're throwing this much money and they're not getting anything, and there's so much backlash over these data centers, it's like you said, hurting prices. I don't know. I'm still shocked that Chat is not making any money. I can't believe that. It's such a tool. It's such an amazing tool to have. I can't believe that people.
Yeah, it's costing more to run than they're making from customers, which
And
is
not just,
why the free
yeah,
version, the free version of Chat, they added ads into it
it's so limited now
because they,
too. They're constantly pushing the pro version
yeah, yeah,
or the
and
upgrade.
that's the other thing is like it is a net loss to have a free version of AI because of how expensive it is to run AI. So if you have a
Wow.
free
Yep.
version, if you, for instance, Canva is I don't know if you've heard of Canva, but
Oh yeah,
basically
I've
you
heard of
can
it.
make, yeah, you've heard of Canva. So Canva added in AI into their kind of, uh, they added AI as a feature into their service, and it completely jacked up the prices to where they were really net loss for the free version, and they weren't making as definitely as much money as they were even with their paid subscribers because of how expensive it is to run AI. It's not
Right.
cheap. It's not cheap. And it's kind of sad because it's effing up, at the end of the day, it's effing up the consumer, and there has been nothing beneficial to the consumer up to this point. And that's kind of what irritates me, is because we're getting screwed. And it's people that don't even use AI. It's people that are buying iPhones and cell phones and a laptop, computer, TV, anything that has a chip that has RAM. Because anything that has a chip needs RAM, obviously, within its like ecosystem. And it's sad because, people that don't even know AI or don't even use AI or want it, they're being affected because you have tech pros that are like, nah, just keep throwing money at it, keep building, and eventually it's going to work. You have Elon Musk building the Terafab, where it's going to be the largest semiconductor plant where they will basically make uh, uh, microchips. And I think that's cool because there's only like two in the world. There's only like two other companies in the world that are making chips. But his goal, it's cool because it's local and it's in the United States. And I'm always pro having it in the United States. But his goal with building that isn't to like help the consumers out. It's to help support building more data centers for his AI. And I they think it's going to change the world. Well, at least that's what they're saying. But it's like I don't even know if you can believe these people and when they say that. And so it's like, does it come down to money? Because a lot of these companies, dude, it's the craziest thing. It's a rotation of money. You would love this part because Microsoft, basically, it's like Microsoft goes to Nvidia, or sorry, I should say it like this. OpenAI goes to Nvidia and says, I need this many GPUs, right? I need this many chips for my data center. And they go, okay, cool. It's going to cost you this much. Let's say $100 billion. So then they buy that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They then on paper go, I'm going to put that order in. While that order's in, they then go to Microsoft and go, hey, we now have $100 billion more data center, like
Oh no, I know where this is going.
GPUs. And then our valuation of the company is now $100 billion more. So they go to Microsoft for a loan.
Oh no.
And then Microsoft gives it a loan. And it's basically it's like Venmo when you pass around $20. That's, but the thing is like, here's what's happening is I give you 20. So your net worth is now $20 more. You go to someone else and go, I'm going to get out of a loan. My net worth is $20 more. And it's just round robin. And then their evaluations. And then Microsoft is like, okay, hey, OpenAI is an extension of Microsoft. Their price went up. Our price
Oh
went up.
man. This is
So
like Floyd Mayweather when he fights to pay off the taxes from the last fight, and then he spends more, so he doesn't have money, so he has to fight again. Not
yeah,
not not exactly,
yeah.
but it reminds me of that. Well, you know what's crazy is talking to you, listening to tons of podcasts on this. It doesn't seem like it's anything is good. I don't see a lot of positive. People are always talking about how it's, and it doesn't matter what. Yeah, it'll make life easier in terms of just like what we use it for, everyday stuff. It's gotten so bad with me. I use it to polish emails. It's getting into it's getting into our daily lives, but it doesn't seem like what you're saying with this and the fact that it's, I don't know what is going on with it, because it's like in any other department, any other field that they were doing business, if this kind of reckless behavior was going on, everybody would be like, "What are you doing? The business isn't
Mhm.
working." And I guess it's because it's such a novelty and something new, they're willing to sacrifice this much, risk this much. I truly don't understand it.
At this
What the end
point,
goal is.
it's billions of dollars burned with no foreseeable ETA on their goal. Like the only way it becomes profitable is if they get artificial intelligence out of this. If they don't, they've wasted hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars, and there will be a significant pullback, which would affect obviously the economy. It would affect it would affect Microsoft, it would affect Google, it would affect Nvidia because they're the
Yeah.
ones making the chips. Obviously, it would affect Anthropic, which is Claude. So, and obviously the investors, because the investors truly think, all right. So SpaceX. So SpaceX went public, right?
Yeah.
So when SpaceX went public, people's idea of SpaceX is what do you like? What's your idea of SpaceX? Your idea of SpaceX, and probably most people's, and mine is that SpaceX is building rocket ships, and those rocket ships are going to get us to a different planet, right? So it's a physical. They're building rocket ships. It's you know, uh, interplanetary travel, all that kind of stuff, right? If you look at the way that they filed with the government for SpaceX when they were going to be when the IPO came out, space travel and rockets and all of that makes up 9% of the company. The rest of the company is AI.
Oh gosh. Wow.
So when people are
Is
investing
this
in
is for real?
SpaceX, yes, this is
It's
for real.
false
When you're investing
advertising.
in space, it's word magic. You're not investing in space travel. You're investing in AI, and you're
And
investing in Elon Musk and his, adventures.
is
So
this is this at least money AI that is trying to support space travel? Or is
no,
this just one of
no,
is this
no,
okay, so is this
no,
Grok
they're not core.
or
No,
something?
because that's exactly it. SpaceX took three things. They took three. So Elon Musk was very smart with the way that he did this because he's a businessman and he's really good at this. He took three different companies. He took SpaceX, which was the rockets and all that stuff. He took Grok, which is XAI, and then he took um the satellites. Oh gosh, what's the
Oh, I know what you mean. Starlink.
yeah, Starlink, thank you. So he took those three, wrapped it into one with a bow, and that is SpaceX,
Okay.
right? And so but the
Interesting.
majority the majority of where the money goes and where the spend is AI, not rockets, not satellites. And so his next goal isn't space travel with SpaceX. It's to it's to get more satellites out for internet access, which is not a bad thing. But the next thing that he wants to do is he wants to he wants to start harvesting the power of the sun to power the data centers.
Oh my gosh. Is SpaceX at least profitable? Because it's 90% AI?
SpaceX was profitable until SpaceX was profitable, I think, until it merged into all one company. Like when it was just the rockets and it was just XAI, which was Grok, and it was just Starlink. Those companies, I think, well, the two companies, Starlink and SpaceX, I think those were profitable. But when they merged it into one, I don't think it's profitable anymore with the amount of money that they're spending and how much it's making.
Gosh.
Yeah. So
What a mess, bro.
that's what my news feed and Twitter is, just a bunch of AIs.
Well,
So.
there wasn't. I look, before the show today, I looked up, and there wasn't. There was like a couple updates with this, couple like new things with Iran. There wasn't anything worth. That's why I didn't write anything down news wise. So
Mhm.
this is good because I'd rather talk about this than a lot of the other things that are in the news, honestly. But I didn't realize that they were in the red. Now, when you said they're spending $5 billion and it costs $10 billion, are we talking about just chat? Are we talking about what was that number from? Is that
That
all
was
of it?
chat. That
Okay,
was
okay.
chat, but that was only a
They
couple
probably
months.
need, if it's 10 billion just to run, there's always advertising and all that other stuff. Not sure how much advertising they do, but it's always good to whatever your costs are to have it 3x, not double X.
Hmm.
Movies are like that.
Yeah.
They usually will like need 2 to 3x whatever the budget was. Cause like, let's say something cost 200 million and you made like, mm, it's the movie cost budget. And then you have all the advertising and that's like double what the thing is. That's what it reminded me of with how AI is. There's probably so many costs that we don't even know of besides
Well, I
just
mean,
running
that's
that.
why that's why I want to tell you, because you as a business owner, I'll just give you the numbers and you can tell me, is that something you'd want to, is that a sustainable
What I
business
can tell
model?
you with those numbers is it sounds like it's a knife fight. That's what I can tell you it's getting a little rough out there, but
Yeah, it's some mess.
it is a mess. Um, I I could keep going with you with this for a bit, but my thing just did hit 10% and I don't want this thing to uh, like last
No,
time
you're
it
good.
died and we got sent
Yeah.
into a tailspin. I want to end it on a
No,
good
you're
note
good.
because I got to figure
We're
out how
at
to
two
plug this
hours.
in and get. Anyway, we'll talk about that offline. But I'm sick of this thing. My battery, so
Yeah, no,
we'll get that
we'll
straight.
talk about it offline because I have ideas for that. But at the very least, yeah, I think we're almost at 2 hours. So
I wanted to hit 2 before we eject, but I don't want this thing to die because
yeah, that was tough last time. I was like,
dude,
it was first episode too.
we couldn't. If this thing dies, they're not going to be able to enjoy House of the Dragon. So, because
And yeah, what time is it? Yeah, it's 5 o'clock. Yeah.
I'll
All
be
right.
thinking about
Well,
it.
did you have anything else?
No, no, no. Great episode. I
Cool.
have nothing else.
Cool. Yeah, great episode. And then yeah, have a good rest of your Sunday, man. Let's crush the week. And yeah, for everyone watching, appreciate you guys watching. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That's it.
Perfect. All right, brother.
Cool. All right. Yes, sir.